Okay, all right. Who do you want to nominate?
Bob. There you go.
Bob. Okay. Who do you want to nominate? Bob, let's go.
Well, that's what they call me. They call me Uncle Bob or Taxi Uncle because I'm chauffeuring around. Yeah. So if I look around, I mean, I'm in the minority, right? Because I spent my early on years, pursue the education and then go out and do business, go back to corporate world I make my money from the corporate world and then go back and do my own business. But I'm a minority because I didn't have that dream. I didn't have to dream like you guys. You guys are fearless. That's all I can say. You are fearless. You have something and you say, let's just do it. That wasn't something I can do. But by getting involved with William and Vera and the team, at least in Singapore, that I travel around, and I got bitten. And I say, well, this Uncle Bob going to try to behave like a young guy again. So, help me out now. I also asked for the task to be in the logistics. That means make sure rubbish got cleared, because that's what I can do. Because what they can do is a lot more than me. These are the future. The youth, you guys, what I see is the future. But what you have is fearless. You have heart. You may not have the money, you may not have the knowledge or the wisdom, but that's okay, because that can be gained, that can be nurtured. But the sense of adventure, the sense of being fearless, that one you cannot. It's in you. And it's in you to bring it up. When you have nothing to lose, go ahead. So I'm not sure why I got arrow. Is there any particular thing you want me to talk about?
Bob's very modern. Hey, Bob, share about the sustainable business model. I think Bob Makerspace.
Okay, yeah, so is that what you want to ask?
I just want you to explain a bit more about OMG and
Okay, let me go with OMG first, then I explain why that makes sense. Now, if you look at us, OMG One Maker Group, which actually consists of 6 companies, because we figured that out very early on. Before that, we were doing our own thing. I'm sure most of you do that. You do your own thing, because you're not sure others understand what you're trying to do. So you do your own thing. And then along the way, you say, well, what's that guy do? Is he going to be my competitor? How do I know he's a foe or a friend? So that was, in the traditional business way of thinking, you don't collaborate. You defend your turf. You're very military. You go out there because you have staff to take care of. You have office rental, you have salary to pay. So when you look at anybody that doing a very similar thing to you, you get worried. Is he a friend or a foe? Is he going to go in, learn what I do, and then try to take my market share? When they take my market share, they take baby milk powder for my son, right? Chinese lesson for my daughter, and salary from my staff, holidays for my staff. So that's how it starts. So when we first talk, and then we say, you know what? The market is bigger than this. When we start seeing the market is very small, then we start to see everybody as a foe or as a competitor. And then when we sit together, and Vera brought this up. Look at the oil industry. There's 25 players. Everybody, if you look at the oil price, everywhere you go is the same. There's a cartel. But they can survive, and they can have many people participating in this if you create the demand for it. So at the end of the day, it's back to basic economics, supply and demand. You don't create a demand, then whatever supply is useless. It's competition. So we say, is the demand there? It's at a tipping point. So we say, we got together, we say, let's create the demand first. And then each of us have to compete on our own value, because one person cannot do everything. So the 6 companies got together. So who are we 6? So that's how One Maker Group got together. So simplify, I'm in 3D printing, I'm in rapid prototyping. Vera is in Makerspace, in community innovation. William is out there, trying to really rally the people. He's an educator. And then we have Kelvin from Focus Tech, who is in incubating. seek investment. So you understand what the investment community is like. And then we have CK from Home Fix, who has been like 25 years. He's been doing this DIY culture in Singapore for 25 years. He has 21 retail outlets. So we said, oh, we gotta get this pool of people. We just gotta get it. So we got together and we said, one maker group. So when we first started, it's OMG, and we had a good laugh actually. When it came out, it was, oh my god, OMG. But it's a bit corny, a bit cheesy, but that's what it is. Oh my god, we got together. Oh my god, it is so difficult. I didn't understand what was the implication of that consortium until I started traveling. Because really it's very rare to have 6 companies, potentially could be competitor, comes together with same single vision. And that was amazing for us. People ask why. And in fact, we got questioned by Spring. The government, when they hear that we're going to participate in the tender as a consortium, they say, you crazy. You crazy. You guys will fall apart within 6 months. Well, we are not. It's 8 months, so let's come on. We must celebrate our first anniversary yet. So far, we still good love. But then, it hit us. What we have just done is so powerful. And then we decided to bring it another level, which is today is the summit level. Now I'm going to talk about the sustainability. So we started by getting together, putting our differences aside, our fears aside, and say, let's do this. Let's create the demand. Now when you create the demand, then you have a problem. We have to be a responsible person. You cannot go out, create a makerspace, excite everybody in your community. 6 months later, you say, I'm sorry, I ran out of budget, I ran out of trainers, I ran out of tools. Thank you very much, it has been fun. That is very irresponsible. Okay? So while it's nice that you have good intention, your execution is important because people's life is on your hands now. The moment you start a makerspace, you are influencing somebody. You are part of a community that you start to put yourself in. And you have the guts, the gumbo. Yeah, I'm going to do this. And everybody looks at you. Okay. Some will say, let's wait and see. Some say, let's go in and do stuff. And they got excited. Yeah, I got this project coming up. And imagine that 6 months, 9 months, or a year later, you say, I'm so sorry. I ran out of money because none of you want to pay me. Right? I have a mortgage to pay off my tools. You guys are on your own again. Now what happened when that happened? When you do that, the whole maker movement become a laughing stock. The people that never joined in was the first one to say, no way. When we first started, people comes to our space to signify show of sustainability anywhere with their hands in the pocket. They look around our space. How do you make money? What's your business model? You sure this is sustainable? In the Malay, we say syok sendiri, you know? You're amusing yourself. So I got someone that told me, this Alvin Lee yesterday, we had this talk and Stop and Fly. He said, Bob, what you guys are doing, and he reminded us on this responsibility, is dangerous. You cannot go out and inspire people and then after that leave them out to dry. Because next time they will not do it anymore. There are some people like some of us, we try, we fail, we come back up, we do back, go back and we do, and we keep doing. There are some of us that are like that. But there are some that are not so fearless. We touch their life and then we leave them alone, they will never do this again. This is very irresponsible. At least that's what I'm the serious guy this morning. Okay? So come back to the sustainability side. So we decided very early on, there's few trends that is very worrying. One, to be sustainable. Actually, there's only a few recipes. give the market what they want, you get paid. With the money you get, price yourself, make your money, control your costs, with the margin. Now, this is simple economics. And you say, yeah, but what's the fear? The fear is if you too focus on one part of your activity, that overrides everything. Yesterday, I just made a joke to some of the guys. And I told them, it's multiple revenue stream. And they say, well, this is no focus. You're not focusing. This is standard what my teacher has taught me. Well, you got to stay focused. I was playing billiard in university, never go to lecture. But I passed. And I was in a team of billiard, and I went out, and I still have dating, I have a social life. Then I realized, so say, that's the important. 5 revenue stream. 5. I think I've shared with some of you. 2 come from your space. 3 from public. And they ask, oh, how much should I focus on any one of them? I say, what is 100% divided by 5? 20. That's what we start with. We wouldn't know. Out of the 5 elements, how much revenue will come from each of them that will support the entire cost. But we know if we focus on the 5 and make sure these 5 are the different things, it builds on each other, then we're okay. That means we have to go out and offend some people. We have to go out and say no to some people. People that expect us to do it for free, we have to say no sometimes. Not to everyone, but there are some of them we have to say no. And some of them look at you and say, hey, I'm giving you the platform now. I'm a big guy. I give you a space to promote you. You're lucky I didn't charge you. I say, I'm sorry. You're lucky I do not want to charge you. Because you do not validate what I do. You don't treat me seriously. When you don't treat me seriously, I can't run my business. And my business is about the people, the community that I'm trying to engage, the minds that I'm trying to inspire. So we say 5. Now this 5 is not a secret recipe. It's 5 because 100 divided by 5 is 20, and 80-20 rule makes sense. So everywhere we go, we tell people it's 5, and they say, how much? 20? No, 80-20 rule. We focus on 20 to have the 80% impact. We understand this. Do we really know it's 20? No, come on. When we started, we didn't even know. But we know one thing. It was very clear from the beginning because we are coming from 6 different companies coming together, so we have different perspectives. When you have 5 in different area of the market segment, you keep your fingers, the TCM doctors, they keep their finger on the pulse of the movement, on the pulse of the government, the social side, the philanthropy, the private sector. They keep a pulse. You know where they're heading. You know what they're interested in. And then you use your 5 business model, the 5 revenue stream, to go after this. So that's what we did. Today, we are sustainable because we are very focused on 5 multiple revenue stream. Now, you guys have to figure out that on your own. Maybe 4 will work first, and maybe 2. But get ready to explain to people. And then the other thing that we decided to be sustainable is to be prepared to take the risk to say no. I think that's important. It's important to say no. Don't take on something that you cannot continue. Hey, I think it's fun. Arduino class is very popular now. Let's do that. And then your neighbors is doing that. Somebody 2 hours away, drive away, they're doing that. And they go and bid in the same project because there is an interest in Arduino. So you have to say no. I will not do Arduino because I know Arduino classes do generate revenue for me. But it's not in the interest of my long term. Why can't I just work with the guy next door and say, can I help you? Now when you do that, you have supply and the demand. If the demand is big enough, then there's enough people to supply. If there's no demand, because everybody is so focused on supplying, right? If you say makers, we are trying to create the demand. The demand is the key. now you regretted everything, right? Because Uncle Bob will just keep repeating what he said 5 minutes ago, and then he say So OMG came about because we put aside, whether we are friends or foe, we put aside the fear, and we say there's synergy, let's do that, we went out and do it. Sustainability means not focusing on only one thing and not going with the trend. The trend is Arduino, everybody jump in, you know what's going to happen? All makerspaces will look the same. Whatever we see today, the diversity that we saw today, it was because there was no one thing that creates that sustainability recipe of success. If you look at all the diversity that everybody is doing, you know, the drive-by, the gallery, the little kids, you know, the woman in the space, is because we don't have that recipe. And because we don't have the recipe, we can explore and do more. But if we all have one recipe of sustainability, we are all the same. We are fat lab. I go to your space in KL, or I go to Petaling Jaya or Indonesia, either the same. Or first, you must go in, there must be a reception, and then you must have aquaphonic one, and then you must have electronics. It looks the same. This is back to school. It's just like you go to school. You go to school, forum where people line up, assembly hall, and then there's tuck shop, and then there's book shop, and then there's science lab. It's the same. Do we want to do that? The reason we left, or we're doing what we're doing today, because we want to be different. So, sustainability story depends on your differentiation. The old economists, I was telling them, I'm the oldest guy, I do not know you much, but old school has some wisdom. I may not know Raspberry Pi, but I know old school. Old school is about supply, demand, differentiation, 80-20 rule. And those are things I learned in school. Don't ask me more in detail, I forgot. I didn't know the password, I looked at everything after that. Alright, thank you.
Alright, okay, so there you have it. So be careful who you arrow, alright?